Welcome brawlers, I'm the Hermit and today we're gonna be playing Haliya Ascendant Cadet. For 2 a green and double white, we're a 3-3 human soldier. Whenever she enters or attacks, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever one or more creatures with +1/+1 counters deal damage to a player, we draw a card. That is combat damage. So the way I wanted to make the most of Haliya is by playing Evasion and also playing First Strike / Double Strike. That way we can get through and make sure we get at least one, but hopefully 2 cards every combat step. And eventually that deck building turn to having creatures that are taxing our opponent, so Captain Everheart, spells our opponent casts among cards they draw this turn, costs 1 more to cast. Eidolon of Obstruction, First Strike, and Planeswalkers cost 1 more to activate their loyalty. We also have Boromir, our opponent can cast spells without paying for their cost. Elite Spellbinder, we exile a card from our opponent and it costs 2 more. Even Interrupter, similar, but they cast a spell, we exile it from the stack, and they have to pay 2 to recast it. Star Wars Warden, First Strike Lifelink. When it enters, the next non-creature our opponent casts costs 2 more to cast. So other than that, we have your typical counter synergies: Champion of Landhold, Goodseal, Ouroboros, Danical Brawler, Generous Pop, and of course Bulwark Ox for even more protection, Sack Fair, Hardened Bonds. We also have, we're trying out a removal spell cross encounter from Age of Eternities. We essentially deal damage equal to our creatures we control power or a creature in exile with warp. We only do have the one warp card, I think. Actually, there's 2. Starfield Shepherd and Rayblade Trooper. Rayblade Trooper also good against rats, but it's more of an insurance card instead of protection. So if our creatures with +1 counters die, we make a token for each one of them. Other than that, we are playing actual Toski, so we get even better card draw than just Haliya. And as a finisher, of course, Elspeth Stormslayer. We can 0 to put a counter on each creature we control and give them flyer for a turn cycle. That's the deck. Let's get into the queue and stop our opponent from doing Nashi, Illusion Gadgeteer, and we're on the play, so we might be able to win this. Especially since we start with Spell Collector. Now when Nashi enters, they get a copy of a spell from their graveyard, but it's a secret. And if it didn't have flash, or it's not an instant, it perpetually gains flash. But it can even be a land here, so even a fetch land. They are short on mana. Also, for some reason, Nashi also has flash, menace, and ward too. And as an aggressive deck, our goal is going to be to get under Nashi, so even if we get ambushed with a 4/4, we don't mind. And we put our opponent to lethal fast. The next turn we're gonna play Rich Card, put the counters on the creatures already in play. Opponent's gonna have Nashi next turn. So let's here, counter here, and we're gonna saddle. Counter here. So opponents send Infernal Grasp away. They can either get it with Nashi, or they just leave it there. Maybe they have a Wrath, better than just removal that also lose them life. Lisa Sunslayer. What should we do here? Play Skrell and Haliya, I think. Okay, we cannot play Squire as well, so Haliya it is. We're gonna put the counter on Haliya. And if our opponent attacks with Lisa, we're gonna be happy about that. Unfortunately for us, we didn't have the taxing, so opponent is not gonna play. It's not gonna pay extra for their spells. But it seems they might get a land with Nashi. Otherwise, what are we gonna do? Okay, maybe they had a Wrath, but they're not able to play it, and maybe they realize we can Skrell to get in for some damage. Against Loot Exuberant Explorer. Yeah, we might lose this one. Exactly. They have turn 1 round. Or maybe they run out of gas, let's see. In the meantime, they're gonna get to 4 mana on this turn. Bulwark Ox. I think we play Incubation Druid and see if we get something good. Scoot Storm from opponent. So since we cannot attack with the Ox, we're gonna pass. Let's see. So notably, opponent doesn't have any more lands. Other than that one, I guess. But they should be these 2 lands ahead of what they are now if they had all the lands they could. Opponent attacks. What's the play here? And Fall of the Impostor. For a counter on Incubation Druid. I think we trade Blade. We first Botanical Brawler, then we trade Blade Trooper. The cost. Counter here. Saddle with Groot. And we will put the counter on the Ox. That way, if our opponent wants to trade, it's gonna be at least the Mystic and the Swarm. Okay. Now opponent will have their Airwell Brawler. Gonna be big. Or at least make other creatures big. Like that Overlord. Eesh. Counter on home. We do this. I can also keep mana up or get lost on Railway Brawler. Now we're gonna pass, and next turn we're gonna hopefully kill the Overlord. Or do we take the damage? Is this protection? Oh, Smuggler Surprise. But they didn't pay for the protection. They get one creature and put it for free. Fuel Tank Fister, that's gonna give them discount for whatever creature they draw. At the beginning of the main phase. Oh, they get to land instead. And they have the world full of good Swarm. So yeah, we're not in the best shape. Guess we will block with the recruit. Here we are still able to play Shepherd. What do we get with it? For 1 mana, I'm afraid we cannot win the game yet. So we'll get Keeper of Runes, and we have one more turn. So if we get Elspeth, I think we might have it. Otherwise, it depends on what our opponent does here. I mean, they're obviously gonna activate loot, and we'll see what happens. Opponent has 67 mana from Nixos, but this is a tap ability. Not the worst, but this good Swarm really is what's winning the game. Terrace Provisioner to the yard. And let's see what they get. Oh, they whiff. Oh, 17. So we also need to block here. One. And that's the game. Like I said, loot, just even the less powerful handful decks are still too powerful. Boring clicks. And we have Boroboroid. I think that's a good reason to. Of course, our opponent's gonna play the commander turn 3. That's just how monogreen works. To here. And it seems opponent stuck on lands. So what are you gonna do? Rampant growth. Okay, we also need a fourth land here. Otherwise our board is not gonna do what we need it to. Play Rayblade to repair. And we're gonna draw with Dusk Legion Duelist. Need to Weaver Puck, but no land. I think we're gonna win within the next couple of turns. We're gonna get Haliya, then the turn following we're gonna play Pop, right, plus encounter. Okay, opponent. Yeah, that's only for non-tokens. And since you made token lands, and we'll here. This restoration, that's gonna make Puck big enough. And maybe they also get boring clicks this turn. But they let us have Ouroboros for too long, so this game is all but over. A reminder, with the pop, we put Haliya's counter on the pop, and that puts a counter on everyone, then Ouroboros puts even more counters. Not that it should make much of a difference, because we're gonna have lethal like a couple of times over, or at least our opponent is gonna have to jump with the whole board. Right, this is at the beginning of combat, so need to go like this instead. Target a creature and it fights Cultivator. Here, combat, everyone. You and repelling you. And opponent takes it all. They go to Megapet 47. Good game, scoring clicks. We will take the win, even if it was because of mana troubles. Against Amalia. Well, they don't like gaining life, so the swords should be fun. They start with Leon in Vanguard. That's Amalia. Ouch, we take 3, 4 with the Vanguard hit. How do we sequence this? We play the fledgling here, and next turn we're gonna play the land, then get fire, and this mascot. The opponent kills the fledgling. No, we don't want to settle here. We need the lands to keep coming. Prayer of Binding is gonna take the squire. Blocks. Yeah, this is rough. Our opponent might have way to get back the binding. Cat collector. It's not quite it. But they're gonna get cat here. Okay. Let's see if we can get our next land. While the opponent's gonna trigger it, they explore, get a land. Okay. Alrighty then. Get Elspeth, and we start making the army. We're not gonna attack for a couple of turns. But again, if our opponent has removal for our mascot, take it Sephiroth, and Priscilla Talisman. The talisman also gives them counters, or rather explore triggers with Amalia. Head of Souls. Might need to kill Sephiroth. But I guess we'll see.
I welcome all allies.
Our opponent has enough creatures to trigger Head of Souls, give him Amalia flying. I think we will chump block with the squire. Hopefully we can also grow champion soon so that our opponent won't be able to block. Oh, Quartz Revenant, so that's gonna be giving its dodge flying. And now, whenever our opponent gains life, we lose 1 life. Mount up. Okay, let's see here. Block here, you block here. Yeah, and I think opponent has it because of the Sephiroth. Good games. Yeah, even if we block, they're gonna keep the emblem from Sephiroth, and then they have Ultima. Although I guess that doesn't trigger Sephiroth, so. But still, they were gonna put us down to 5, I think. No, we were dead because of this clerics here. We lose the life, then they gain it back. Sorry, and then we lose it again because of the cleric, because they gain it as well. Yeah, the blade reforge. Okay. I think this might be the bad Lilia combo, but we won't win against it. We need to keep up Kami ambush. So that I think we win the game. Get another planes. Boss encounter, that's gonna kill Lelia again. And if we get the planes, we're gonna lay down arms instead. Okay, no, so creature. Right, so the combo, if you don't know, you need to get the Tally's favor. Okay, like that. Geologic Iron Appraiser, Tally's favor. But with Lelia, not only do you get trample, haste, and everything, but you also excel like that. And you get that counter on Lelia for each card you exile. Opponent blew their load. Yeah, they concede. They needed to do that with Lelia, otherwise they just get a 4-3 win. Example. As opposed to an I did something with example haste. Obviously we cannot block, so good games, Lelia. We just had interaction. Roxanne, Titan of Death's Hunger. So maybe they are this card, maybe they are mid-range. One thing is for sure, we need to get to Haliya mana, and that way we got not have card draw to counteract our opponent. I like the square. I think the initiate has to go. In the land. Alright. Go to combat. Or let's play the recruit for one. We're gonna go to combat. And cast removal. Eldred's Assimilator. Let's connect Giver opponents. Oh, right. I don't have Giver. Increase Spellbinder here. See what our opponent is working with. Mischief, Unearth, Rectus's Return. Damage to target opponent, discard 6 cards. Okay. Attack with the recruit. We will discard the square. Roxam here. We can snare the assimilator. And because this was the spell doesn't target. Okay, that works too. And they make us discard again. We have to. They send it to the command zone. Because they're gonna be eating their yard. They choose to eat ours. They take nothing. So if we get land, we're gonna be out of... Okay, that's a good start. Palantir. We're gonna lose life for a while. Eternal Grasp. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna put the counter on Spellbinder. We're gonna Skipper of Thrones, protection from black. Sentinel. And the opponent gets the one ring. We will lose life once again. Alright. Still worth it, I think. Light chicory. We have double protection. Because they are now drawn with the One Ring, we don't mind as much drawn with the Palantir as well. But yeah, when concedes, they needed an Exile Wrath. They didn't have one, so good game. Shin 2 Heavens has one. Oh. Now they are gonna be really aggressive. Because they get double triggers from aggression. However, opponent is losing cool guy points for not using Final Fantasy skin. And we get Hardened Bonds. And now it's Elite Spellbinder. This should be fun. But maybe we play Giver of Runes and Captain Everheart next turn. If we do, we miss out on a Hardened Bonds trigger. But that's more of a board, so might be worth it. The Raptor from opponent. And they excel their Hellish Norm, as well as their Ancient Tomb, so good news for us. Some might say great news even. Perceived Shieldred, Emperor of Bones. I guess we want Tax the Emperor. Ocelot Pride, of course we knew that was their only play for now. Okay, they attack, so we're gonna double block here. At the end of the day, this is a 1-for-1 trade. Okay. Let's get Captain. Giver of Runes out. Oh. They could also have played the chain, but Cadet, I think that's gonna go. Ooh, right. We only had two. I like that. Okay. Two white mana, I meant. Because we have Captain. We're a counter here and a Cadet. Knight Squire. Attack, attack, attack. And I guess let's keep saving the mana, or rather life, Urborg, because of polluted delta. Our opponent finally kills Ardent Bonds. Might be a little too late, I think. And yeah, we get our commander, our opponent, and if they don't die, then we just put them to very low health. Draw a card or two. So yeah, good games. Good games, Ishin. And I guess the fact that I didn't have the Final Fantasy skin was a telltale sign. Elan Planar Trailblazer. Okay. They are gonna be aggressive, I think. Dynamox? Fury? If it's Fury, we might be in trouble. Then it becomes bigger, then it gets double strike, and when it deals damage to us, they get to play the top of their deck. Play? Yep, exile, you may play. Was a Chromox, and it's Stone Drain. Oof, sheesh, opponent. Kind of mean. Let's get Captain Neverheart here. They remove the captain, we're gonna get the counters on the druid. Alright, we didn't play Popatch before that. I was thinking one step ahead. Enter, gonna be a land. Oh, that can only add mana from our lands. Yeah, I think we might lose if we don't get a basic in a couple of turns. Preferably a forest. And then gets to Inferno. Another card they cannot cast. So now we have double white mana. Actually, should we exile the Blood Moon? Probably right. Right. We will jump block, I think. Monster Rage, of course. Maybe that was a reason to kill Kalan. Now we are in serious trouble. Although I guess Thalia can trade with Kellan. Another land destruction spell. Oh. Counter here. So we will play this for upspring. Cannot do all of that. We're gonna pass. Remove Kellan. Our opponent has to pay 8 more mana if they want it. Double strike. 3-2. Phoenix. That is annoying. Might be what kills us. Counter on Captain Everhard. No, on the incubation rate. Okay, yeah, Flying Phoenix. Good game. Yep. Have fun? Not really. Raid was really too much for us. Really? Even? Yes. At least the shuffler is kind enough to give us swords. And I guess Captain Everhard is really funny against BB. Just bubble. You needed to hold on to that until BB, I think. Fletchling. Human. And the opponent concedes. Counter spell mana up. Cavern of Souls. Yep. And also, I guess, us taxing them really didn't jive with our PV opponent. Good games. And Roscoe, like, what did we do to deserve this? Sorry, Shuffler, I'm sorry, Matchmaker. Whatever I did, I repent my sins. I renounce my actions. I am a changed brawler, so please don't give me more LQ commanders. Pretty please. Is it because I beat BB last turn? Oh, that meant nothing. Siege Veteran. Counter on the pop. This Roscoe opponent. Did the name black? Yes, they did. So they could have Damnation now. Or maybe next turn. If they have it next turn, then we are happy to elite Spellbinder. Ornithopter of Paradise. Okay. With the Sheriff. Oof. Are you sure? Okay. Play Hardened Bonds. A bunch of 1/1s. Aren't you a soldier? Yep. So we will get at least one. Okay, this is another, so. I mean, I guess I said I wanted to elite Spellbinder. Let's see if that's not optimized here. Samber. Could still be. Roscoe. Extinction event. So even. Oh, yeah, no. Okay. They're gonna name bots. Invasion. An offer you can't refuse. Well, let's see what you have. Curate quick studies. So no more tricks, no more rats. However, you go down to 6. I think you have to play Roscoe now. I would make it go to 7. Great. You will still have 2 mana left over. Put a land to the graveyard and remove Elite Spellbinder. And here we go, of course. Yep, we had lethal. Haliya puts the counter on the pop. Everyone gets bigger. And lose. I mean, I guess the matchmaker after all was trying to punish Roscoe and not us. We were just too strong for them. And it was a Hermit on Hermit violence kind of game, but to be fair, they were playing Roscoe, so they had it coming. Games. Gideon of the Trials. Huh. I haven't heard that name in a while. Also, this is not the most synergistic start, but if we have another way to put counters on things, then we might be fast enough after all. And Gideon is gonna be trying to play Gideons, so that as long as they have one, they don't lose the game. Giant Killer. Oh. So is this a white Winnie, or maybe just control / mid-range mono white? Mono white control? Maybe. Are you thinking about playing Get Lost. Faithful Absence. Adeline. Okay, we might have to fire off Get Lost on Adeline. But let's wait a turn. Yeah, that way we are more efficient in our
Virtue will always triumph.
curving out. We are using all of our mana, so also notably we don't have to kill Gideon right away. Yeah, you need to do plus earlier opponent.
Now it's my turn.
Now we will kill Adeline. And I guess play Precon. We're gonna be hurting a little bit from the course. And Giant Killer paired with Gideon is annoying as well, so might need to keep drawing some cards. Okay, they prevent Kodama,
Let's do
and
this.
obviously if we try to do something with Brigon, they're gonna tap her. So we're at somewhat of a standstill. Let's see. Let's draw a card. The clue. Ah, I think this might be a Valkyria kind of deck of game. Our opponent will be taxed. They will need to pay one more mana for Gideon and for the Giant Killer. Which, to be fair, they might, but it's gonna be annoying for them, as their current arrangement is annoying for us. And they get Elspeth Resplendent.
I'm not looking for trouble.
-3, they get something with a shield counter. It's a Maze Mind though.
I've been waiting for this.
Nature Slam. Oh. How are we gonna play this? Everyone at Precon at Elspeth. Okay. Oh, does this mean we kill Elspeth? Oh. Oh. Let's Christ, we're gonna take care of Elspeth. Conjure. I think we need to draw here.
Once I've rested, I'll be back.
Let's land. Thank you. Yep. It is blessing. playing then. I think opponent might have a decent number of rats in their deck. So we are definitely not out of the woods yet.
Now it's my turn.
Here we can reach car. Put the counters on the Ocelot Pride. Recon. Yes, we and more counters on the Pride. Opponent. And we will go to 8. 7 lands, okay. What are you going to do, opponent? Your Season Hollow Blade is not gonna be too much. Okay.
I've been waiting for this.
Nerf Ocelot Pride, and I think what are you gonna kill with Elspeth Conquers Death? Also, nice flavor. After Elspeth is dead, opponent plays Elspeth Conquers Death. What do we do now? We can start by Elite Spellbinder. Okay, when concedes we were gonna, I think, Spellbinder. Then we put counters with Ocelot onto Rishkar for combat. Or maybe we play Siege Veteran as well. We have 3 mana with Ocelot Pride. Yep, for combat attack. And because our opponent hasn't forced us to attack Gideon, we can attack them freely. Yeah, good game. Little nice flavor going on. And I think this is gonna be it for today's video. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.